Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So we are doing a pick a card reading today, or I guess you could say like pick a character. And I'm not going to use any tarot cards today. I'm actually just going to use my intuition to channel and download messages from your inner child. So basically anything that your inner child may want you to know, whether it be like advice, guidance, any blockages that you may be having, things of that sort. So yeah, this will go exactly the way that a pick a card reading goes. Just take a second and look at the screen and figure out which character from the show Rugrats you're most drawn towards, and then go into the description box down below and there will be the timestamps for each character, and then click on the timestamp and there will be your messages from your inner child. And if you feel drawn towards more than one character, then you can watch, the messages for more than one character. And like I said in my past pick a card videos, these videos are very good to strengthen your intuition, because you are basically just using your intuition to choose, which pile or which card or which character resonates most with you. So the more of these readings you watch, the more it will, strengthen your intuition. It's kind of like, working like your intuition muscle, I guess. The more you work it, the stronger it will get. So like I said, just take a second, pause the video if you need to, take a deep breath, and choose whichever character, you feel drawn towards. Okay, group number one. So let's see what messages your inner child has for you. And again, I'm not using my tarot cards. I'm just doing all of this intuitively. So what I'm sensing is that you are needing to be a bit more brave, and you're needing to be a bit more bold. Your inner child really wants you to step outside of a comfort zone that you've been in for too long, or to kind of think outside of the box. For some of you, it's like an issue that you have, or a problem that you have that you've been in for a very long time. And your inner child is basically telling you to think outside of the box in order to solve this problem. If you keep doing the same things over and over again, you're going to keep getting the same results, which I know is like, cliche and very obvious. But sometimes we have to remind ourselves this when we are in a repetitive loop, or we have a problem that we are having a hard time getting out of. So I feel like your inner child is telling you to think outside of the box and go towards a solution or a route that you have not tried yet, in order for you to break free from whatever this is that you've been stuck in. And like I said before, I feel like your inner child is also wanting you to just be more bold and brave overall. It's so many things and so many opportunities that are available to you, but you are almost holding yourself back. It's like you're not allowing yourself to go towards those opportunities for whatever reason. Mostly I'm sensing that it is fear, and you're needing to really feel the fear and push forward and do it anyway. And you'll start to feel that fear diminish the more that you take those bold steps, or those bold actions towards what it is that you want. I'm also sensing that for some of you, I'm hearing a leadership position. So for some of you, you're needing to take more of a leadership role on, whether it be in your own life, meaning being the leader of only yourself, meaning guiding yourself in the correct direction, or it could be guiding other people in the correct direction. I feel like there are people who could really use your guidance and could really use you as someone that leads them towards a better way. I feel like, okay, I'm downloading too many messages at once. 1 second. I feel like this ties into the message I was saying earlier about how you could have a problem that you're having a hard time getting out of, and you need to think of an out of the box solution. I feel like once you come up with the solution, you'll be able to help other people break themselves out of this problem as well that they've been stuck in. So it's almost like you're being asked to be somewhat of an innovator, where you come up with a solution to a problem to help yourself, and then you end up helping a bunch of people who have a similar problem as you to break out of the box that they've been, or the way of thinking that they've been in. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, your inner child is really encouraging you to be bold and be brave in this way. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I'm hearing your throat chakra. So for some of you, you're needing to speak up, and that can mean different things for different people. For some of you, you're needing to speak up when it comes to your boundaries, like people pushing your boundaries. You could have a little bit of like people people pleasing tendencies, and so you're needing to speak up for yourself and to really tell people when they are rubbing you the wrong way, or really tell people when they are violating you or pushing your boundaries, whether it be like a physical boundary where people are touching you in a way that you don't like, even if it's just like a friendly, like, pat on the shoulder. If you don't like it, tell them, hey, please don't do that. Like, don't bite your tongue and hold it back. I understand that it can be awkward to do so, but you're needing to do it. Like, your inner child really wants you to, because you're pretty much like, I'm hearing you're diminishing yourself every time you allow someone to push your boundaries, even if it's something that's minor. And also, if not physical boundaries, then emotional boundaries, which would be like someone making you feel a type of way that you don't want to feel. So if someone is speaking to you a certain way and it's making you feel kind of overwhelmed by the way they're speaking and the way they address you, then you have every right to set that boundary and say, stop speaking to me that way, or can you stop speaking to me that way, or can you change your tone, or, things of that sort. So setting an emotional boundary. Also, it's like you're definitely needing to speak up. But also with the throat chakra, I feel like this is talking about speaking. I'm hearing like public speaking. I feel like that won't be for all of you though. That will only be for a select group of you. But I hear like public speaking or needing to use your voice to, I'm still going back to this same message of like helping people solve some sort of problem that you yourself have figured out a way to solve it, and now needing to speak up and help other people solve it as well. This could be like starting a podcast, starting a YouTube channel, or just speaking up about it on social media, something along those lines. But yeah, I'm definitely seeing like some sort of leadership role in that way that involves your speaking. What else? I'm hearing rebel. Your inner child is wanting you to be more rebellious, meaning wanting you to go against the norm. Don't be afraid to go against what everyone else is doing or what everyone else is thinking. I have a feeling that you're not meant to follow the herd or follow the crowd. You're meant to be more of an innovator. And so you're meant to go the opposite direction of what everyone else is doing. If everyone else is thinking a certain way or behaving a certain way, if you feel like that's not the right way to be, don't be afraid to go the other direction, even though it may feel uncomfortable for you, because it's like you start to second guess yourself and think, okay, well, am I the one that's wrong here? Because everyone else is going one way, but I want to go another way, So basically your inner child is wanting you to not second guess yourself in that way and to go in the direction that your heart is leading you to go towards. And this could be something like, for example, maybe all of your family is in a certain profession and you don't want to be in that profession. You want to do something else. Like maybe all your family, they all work corporate jobs, and you want to have a job as like a fine artist. Don't be afraid to go against what your family has done or what they've always been doing and to take your own path. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're meant to be rebellious, and so don't second guess yourself. You're meant to go against the grain, and you're going to have a positive outcome if you choose to go against the grain. Let me see what else. I think that's it. I'm hearing loyalty. Okay. So your inner child is wanting you to be very mindful of the people that you keep around you. If there are people around you who are not loyal to you, they are going to cause more harm in your life than you actually realize. I feel like you've seen some people's true colors and you kind of let it slide, you let it go. Again, some of you could have like a people-pleasing sort of tendency at times, and you're needing to not do that. Take heed to this. And I'm not trying to put paranoia or fear into anyone's mind. I'm not saying, someone around you is going to betray you, like as if you don't know this already. It's something that you would already be aware of. It's someone or some people who you feel like you just can't fully trust. And basically, I'm hearing that you need to trust that you cannot trust them. Trust them to be exactly who they've shown themselves to be. If you're going to trust them, if you're going to try to keep them around, trust that they will be that person. Because you can't trust them to be loyal or reliable if they've shown you that they are not that. Trust them to be exactly who they've shown that they are. And so at least if you keep them around, at least you won't be surprised when they do some shit to you that you just don't like or don't appreciate. I would always recommend distancing yourself from those types of people. But if you don't, or if you don't want to, then like I said, if you know them or you've seen their true colors, at least, be aware of that. Don't paint them as something that is the opposite of what they've shown you. So if they do mess up again, you won't be so shocked and dismayed. But Like I said, I personally would just kind of distance myself from those people. But yeah, loyalty is going to be something that's needed for you. I mean, that's something that's needed for everyone, because you can't be comfortable and you can't live like a safe, stress-free life if you have people around you who you have to second guess or you have to question. Like you are in deserving, or you deserve peace of mind. You deserve to feel safe, especially when it comes to your inner circle. So, everything else or everybody else in the world may make you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, but your inner circle is supposed to be the one place where you feel safe. So if anyone has shown you that they can't be fully loyal to you, then take that into consideration. I'm also hearing that you're in need of guidance. So you may need some sort of mentor, life coach, something like that. And if it's not a direct mentor or life coach, it could be one that you just study. Like, you could actually pay for a life coach, like I said, or find an actual mentor that you talk to one-on-one. Or you can choose someone like famous or someone who's, walked the path that you want to walk on and that has been successful. And you can study them, like go on the internet, look up their life, maybe follow their social media, read up on like interviews and stuff like that they do. So they could be like your mentor in your head because you are learning from them, even if you can't speak directly to them. But I feel like there is some sort of guidance that you definitely do need. I'm also hearing that for some of you, you're very good at studying people or studying yourself. Some of you are very good at psychology, but sometimes you don't really apply what you learn. So make sure whatever that you are learning, that you're actually taking the time out to apply it to your life. Like if you read about how stress can destroy the body, you understand it now because you've read it and studied it, but now actually take the steps to remove stress out of your life. See what I'm saying? So some of you are very good at being aware and studying certain concepts, but you're needing to actually put them into play or put them into consideration. Not put them into consideration. Well, I guess I'm channeling right now, so that's what I heard. Put them into action. There we go. What else? Oh, don't give up, I'm hearing. So for a lot of you, like I said, you are meant to be like an innovator. You're meant to create something or create some sort of idea or solution that other people don't have and then offer it to other people. And at first, it may not catch on. Like at first, you may be trying to share your solutions or share your ideas or create something. And at first, it may not catch on. It may not get much attention. But I'm hearing that there's a need for you to keep trying because eventually it will catch on. It's one of those things where everyone ignores you at first or calls you crazy. And then next thing you know, everyone sees your vision. So basically it's saying to keep going even when people don't see your vision at first. Or even when people don't listen to you at first. Or even when people don't believe in you at first, And that can go for any area of your life. That could be like if you're starting like a business or you're creating some sort of product, or if you're just going towards something that you really want and other people are doubting you. It's basically saying just because they doubt you, that doesn't mean that you're going in the wrong direction, and you may have to be your own cheerleader if they are doubting you. All right, so that is it, group number 1. I really hope that this was helpful. Sorry if it was a little rambly because, again, I'm not using my tarot cards. I'm just channeling intuitively. So, again, I hope that this was helpful. And if you're drawn towards any other character in this reading, then go ahead and watch for them too, because there could be messages for you there as well. All right, and if not, I will see you in my next reading. Bye. Okay, group number 2. So you chose Angelica. So again, I am not using my tarot cards. I am just channeling messages intuitively. So let's see what your inner child wants to say to you. All right, so I'm sensing that your inner child is wanting you to nurture or pamper yourself a lot more than what you have been doing. I feel like some of you have been, practicing self-care, keeping up with your hygiene, things of that sort. But your inner child is wanting you to take it to like the next level of like actually pampering yourself, like spa type treatment, even if you can't go to the spa right now, like kind of doing like a spa treatment for yourself at home. It's like your inner child is really wanting that for you. I feel like you're either stressed or really tense, or it's something going on with you that you're just needing a lot more TLC, like a lot of tender loving care at the moment. I do feel like I'm hearing that for some of you, your inner child does want to warn you, though, to be careful about your spending, because some of you, that's how you've been pampering yourself a little bit. You may have been spoiling yourself with purchasing things, like things that are not really necessary, and your inner child is wanting you to kind of slow down on that. Like, yes, still pamper yourself and, treat yourself, take care of your body and things of that sort, but be careful with your purchases, because you don't want to, be overspending in the name of self-care. And trust me, I've definitely been there. Your eating habits. I'm hearing that for some of you, you may be trying to eat healthier, or you've been thinking about eating healthier, or you're needing to eat healthier. And it could be kind of a struggle for you because you're being too restrictive. Like, you have to do everything in moderation. So if you are trying to eat healthier, it's okay to still, eat your favorite snacks here and there. Like saying, okay, I'll never eat this again. It's like, it's kind of unreal. Well, I wouldn't say unreal. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. I'm not going to insert my own opinion. I'm just going to go with what I'm channeling. It's kind of unrealistic, and it actually does kind of deter you from actually taking the steps towards change. It's like when you try to make a change too radically, like to the point where you're like, okay, all or nothing. Sometimes it gets difficult to stay motivated. So for example, if you're like, okay, I'm cutting out junk food, right? Because I eat it every day. Maybe start by only eating it once a week, instead of just saying I'll never eat it again. It could become very restrictive, like I said, and extreme to the point where you lose motivation, and then you end up just like binging junk food. And this can go for anything. It doesn't have to just be food. It's like just anything in life. Your inner child is saying you need moderation. Don't try to be so extreme. When you try to be so extreme, that's when, like I said, you lose motivation and you end up like falling off the wagon a bit. What else am I hearing? Oh, communication. I'm hearing that for some of you, your communication with your loved ones has been a little bit off, meaning that there could be a bit of disrespect, or the tone that you're using with your loved ones, or the tone that they're using with you. It's like you're needing to try your best to communicate with people you love in a loving way. Like, don't forget when you're communicating with people that you actually love them, you care for them, and you value them. Don't make it about trying to get the upper hand. And this could be you doing this, or it could be them, or it could be a combination of both. Like both of you do it, or you and a group of people do it. Maybe it's you and your family, and you're needing to try to communicate as calmly and respectful as possible. Of course, you can't control how they communicate, but you can control how you communicate. And if things get kind of disrespectful or heated, remove yourself from the situation, because the last thing you want to do is end up destroying a friendship or destroying a connection with your loved ones because things got out of control and then they got heated, and things were said that you didn't necessarily mean. So be very mindful of that. Let me see what else. Okay, so I'm also hearing chakras for a lot of you. So you may need to go and study what chakras are, and take that quiz that was kind of circulating around social media that was talking about which chakras are in alignment and which ones aren't, because I feel like some of your chakras could be off balance, and that's making a huge impact in your life. So for example, my root chakra is completely off balance because I have been through a lot of situations where I didn't feel safe and protected. So your root chakra is the chakra that deals with feeling protected, feeling grounded, feeling stable. And so my root chakra is really off balance. And so when I go and study how to balance my root chakra, it really does help me to pretty much balance out my life. So for a lot of you, you're needing to study what chakras are, and specifically figure out which one of your chakras are, or which of your chakras are not balanced, and then study how to balance them. And that's going to make a huge difference in your life, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so suddenly, like as I'm channeling, I got really anxious. So some of you could be struggling with anxiety. And again, I feel like studying what chakras are and studying which chakra is off balance, I feel like it's going to help you. I sense that for a lot of you, it feels like your lower chakras could be a bit off balance. So it's like I'm channeling, and I just want to make sure that I'm giving the messages clearly. So if I keep pausing, that's why. But yeah, I feel like your lower chakras could be off balance. So look into that. I don't want to get too much into it in this channeling, just in case some of you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and you're just like, what are you saying? If you go look it up and go look into chakras, chakras, you'll see exactly what I mean. Okay, let me see what else. Okay, this is like one of my first times doing these readings without tarot cards, so it's a little more difficult to get these downloads. I'm hearing that for some of you, you're really needing to be more comfortable with your sensitive side. I feel like you often mask your pain with anger, and you're needing to not do that. Like, you're needing to acknowledge that you are in pain or that you are experiencing some type of grief, because masking it with anger is just a temporary fix. So you're needing to be more comfortable with admitting that you're hurt. Even if you can't admit it to certain people, you need to admit it to yourself and to give yourself that love and compassion, and to not try to brush over that feeling of, being hurt and vulnerable and masking it with, anger. Because there's absolutely nothing wrong with being sensitive. And I feel like some of you, you find it hard to embrace the fact that you are sensitive. It's almost like you feel like you're giving away your power every time you show any type of sensitive side of you or any type of vulnerability. And you're needing to understand and realize that actually is a power to be able to show that, especially in this world where a lot of people don't even possess that sensitivity. And sometimes it may feel like, you're at a disadvantage because people can take advantage of your sensitivity, but it actually is a beautiful thing. So you're needing to embrace the fact that you are sensitive and that it's completely okay, and learn how to, like I said, embrace that side of yourself and to show that side to yourself. Even if you are not ready to show your sensitive side to other people, you should still feel sensitive showing your sensitivity to yourself. Like, don't be ashamed to have that sensitive aspect to yourself, because it is very beautiful and it's something that a lot of people don't possess. I'm also hearing hairstyle, kind of weird. Some of you may be needing to change your hairstyle or needing a new look or something along those lines. I'm hearing to help you recover. Not sure what you're recovering from, but a change of hairstyle is always a good idea. I'm an Aquarius, so I change my hairstyle every time I have even like a minor crisis in my life. So yeah, changing your hair might be something beneficial for you that your inner child wants you to know. Embracing some sort of, I'm hearing creativity. So needing to get more creative with your look, or needing to get more creative in general. Oh, I'm hearing needing to get more creative with your surroundings. I feel like for a lot of you, your surroundings are definitely impacting your mood and impacting your mental health. So don't underestimate how your room, the way it's decorated, the way it's organized, the color of the clothes that you wear, things of that sort. Like, don't underestimate how much that actually does play a role in your mental health and plays a role in your mood throughout the day. What else? Oh, I'm hearing, that there's a balance that's needed. I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe what I'm hearing. There's balance that's needed when it comes to this aspect of yourself that's very tough, and then the sensitive side of yourself. I feel like sometimes you find it hard for the two to coexist. Like, there's this aspect of yourself that's very driven, that's very get back up and keep on going. That's very I'm feeling like a very masculine energy in that. Like, something goes wrong in your life or something happens and you're like, all right, gotta dust myself off and go. But sometimes you have to actually get in tune with your sensitive side and to get in tune with your nurturing side. Like, it's not always the best idea to just dust yourself off and go immediately, and to get up and keep it moving immediately. Sometimes, you need to stay down for the count and nurture yourself. It's kind of like when a boxer, in a boxing match, when someone gets knocked down, and then the referee starts counting for them to get back up, and they don't get back up immediately because they know that they have until, I think, is it the count of 10? I'm not sure. They have a certain amount of time to actually get back up. So you notice they'll get back up in the last second, and that's because they took the time to lay on the mat and to kind of recover their energy a little bit. So it's okay to stay down for a little bit when you've been knocked down and nurture yourself. You don't have to get up and keep going immediately, because sometimes that's how you can kind of burn yourself out. So just be very mindful of that. I'm hearing your self-esteem. Some of you are needing to work on your self-esteem and really realize how great of a person you actually are, and really realize your potential. I feel like a lot of you don't know your own potential, and because of that, it's really holding you back from a lot of opportunities that could be great for you. I feel like there's so much that you have to offer, but you just don't know it. And so you kind of stay in your shell, or you stay in your comfort zone a bit, and you're needing to break out of that and understand how valuable and gifted that you really are, and be willing to share those gifts with the world. Don't just keep them locked away and keep them to yourself. I am hearing that for some of you, either you're too isolated or you're needing to be a bit more isolated. So if you're too isolated, meaning like you're kind of not interacting with anyone, period, to the point where it's just like very lonely, and it could get to a point where it's draining to even be alone, you might want to consider spending time with loved ones. I know that during this pandemic that can be difficult. All of us are, kind of like about socializing or about like interacting with people since the pandemic has started. So a lot of people are going through this where they feel isolated from their loved ones. And it could be detrimental. I think it could be more detrimental to your mental health than you actually realize. For some of you, though, you're needing to isolate a little more. You're spending a little too much time around people to the point where you don't even have like a second to yourself, to sit down and just think and have a clear mind. When you're too surrounded by people all the time and there's too much like hustle and bustle going on around you, sometimes you just need that moment to sit with yourself and be alone with your own thoughts. I'm also hearing to stop trying to distract yourself from certain issues that you may have and to actually face those issues head on, instead of trying to find a million different things to keep yourself busy. Sometimes it's good to keep yourself busy because how's the saying go? An idle mind is the devil's workshop. I think that's how it goes, where you have too much free time, so you overthink and then you start to kind of self-destruct. But there are some things that you need to sit down and analyze and really dive into and think about, instead of trying to continuously bypass them, because they're not going anywhere until you actually tackle the issues head on. Like trying to escape from reality from those issues just is not going to be helpful, is what I'm seeing. Yeah, so I think that's it. Group number 2. I hope that this was helpful. If you resonate with any other or if you feel drawn towards any other character, then feel free to watch those messages as well. But if not, I will see you guys in my next reading. Bye. Okay, group number 3. So you chose Suzie. So like I said before, I won't be using my tarot cards. I'm just going to do these messages intuitively. So what I'm hearing is that a lot of you have outgrown a situation. Either you've outgrown the people in your environment, or it's like just something where you have just kind of bypassed a certain circumstance that you were once comfortable with, or that you were once in alignment with. Like it made sense when you first got into whatever the situation was, like you were directly in alignment with it. And then you started to grow as a person, and you started to expand as a person, and now you just don't fit into this environment anymore. You don't fit with these certain people anymore, and you're needing to kind of spread your wings and go elsewhere. Not saying that you have to cut all your friends off or cut all your family off. Some of you may choose to do that, but I don't feel like it's that. I just feel like you're needing to be around an environment now that is more suited for who you are now, like because you've grown as a person and because you have expanded and you've had a lot of like self-awareness and things of that sort. It's like you are needing to now go in a direction that fits, or that's in alignment with this new version of yourself. And again, I'm not saying you have to cut anyone off completely or ghost anyone or anything like that, but if you are listening to this message, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm also hearing that needing to be more responsible. Okay, I'm getting mixed messages. For some of you, you already are very responsible, and you're needing to commend yourself for that, to really congratulate and commend yourself, because sometimes you may feel like you should be doing more, or that you should have your life even more together than it already is, but you're needing to sometimes stop and to recognize that you are doing fairly well. Like you need to stop and recognize your wins. You need to stop and recognize the things that you are accomplishing and how you are further along than a lot of people are when it comes to your progress and when it comes to your journey. So I understand wanting to elevate and to be better, but you're needing to sometimes stop and congratulate yourself on the things that you are accomplishing on a daily. I'm also hearing for some of you, though, there's like a need to be more responsible. So look at your life and look at the areas of your life where you're being irresponsible, whether it be like through the way that you eat, like maybe you don't eat the best, or you don't take care of your body the best that you could. Maybe you're not as responsible with your finances as you could be, and you need to start budgeting. But like I was saying, some of you are needing to be more responsible in those areas of your life because it will lessen your stress. It will decrease your stress drastically, because as of right now, the areas of your life where you are irresponsible is like the main source of your overthinking and your stress. Like if you are not budgeting your money correctly, that's why you're so stressed out about finances. If you are not taking care of your body properly, that's why you're so stressed out every time you don't feel well, or every time you get sick. You see what I'm saying? It's like a major source of stress for you is like this sense of being irresponsible in some area of your life, and you're needing to fix that in order to decrease the stress in your life. Okay, let me see what else. I'm trying to hear what else your inner child wants you to know. Oh, I'm hearing that this is going to be very odd and specific, but I'm hearing that for some of you, there's someone in your life who's very difficult. There's someone who can be very difficult to get along with, and you're needing to take on the role of the bigger person. I know it's really, really annoying, but you're needing to be the bigger person because this person really doesn't know any better. They're a bit childish, they're a bit immature, and so you're needing to basically be the bigger person, not take it personally, and kind of brush them off, whatever they do or say. Not saying that you have to take abuse from anyone, not saying that you have to sit around and be someone's punching bag, but this person, it's not personal, they're very immature. It could be a specific person, it could be a group of people, or this message could just be talking about people who have these characteristics in general, like how you should respond to them. Try not to take immature people who kind of like lash out and things like that and insult you, things of that sort. Try not to take things too personally, and understand that they are just childish and they're very immature, and you have the ability to see things from a more mature perspective, and so don't take whatever they're doing or saying personally, is what I'm hearing. What else? I'm hearing spend time with your brothers. That was weird. I don't know if some of you actually have brothers that you need to spend. That was really a strange message. I don't know if some of you have brothers that you have like an estranged brother, or a brother you're not speaking to, and you're needing to spend time with him or talk to him. But for some of you, this is like you're craving masculine energy around you. And I'm not saying that you have to go out and hang out with men when you crave masculine energy around you. I think that it's more of a craving for you to get more in touch with your masculine side, which is the side of you that's like the go-getter, the go out and make it happen, not overthinking it, but actually taking the action. I think some of you are wanting to get in touch with that side of yourself. Also, that's the side of you that is very like stern, that knows how to set boundaries, that knows how to keep people at arm's length when they're mistreating you. It's like that side of you that's very like stern and very like confident and very like not letting anyone walk all over you. I think you're wanting to get more in touch with that side of you, is what I'm hearing. And that could also be very helpful for you when it comes to minimizing your stress. Because if you're able to tap into your masculine side, it's like you go and you get things done. And so that will cut down on a lot of the stress in your life that comes from you overthinking and not taking the steps towards doing things. You see what I'm saying? What else? Oh, sunlight. I'm hearing that some of you are definitely needing sunlight. Some of you are needing to at least get a few minutes of sunlight. I know that we are in a pandemic right now. Some of you are still, not going outside much. So you're needing to take a walk, get some sunlight, something of that sort. Because I keep hearing sunlight. It's going to improve your mood in some way. It's going to like kind of raise your frequency in some way. So you're needing to go outside and get more sunlight. Let me see what else. Oh, don't be afraid to shine. I'm hearing that very, very clearly. Some of you could be extremely talented, and some people are intimidated by that, but don't allow them to dull your shine just because they're intimidated by your talent. Because I'm sensing that there may be people around you who they know that you are very talented, and I feel like they themselves have some level of talent, but maybe it's not on the same level as yours, so they try to kind of like tear you down instead of developing their own talents. They instead try to tear yours down instead. Human beings, the way that they are. They may try to tear your talent down instead of building themselves up. And it doesn't have to just be talent. It could also be like just something good that they see in you. It's like instead of doing the work to build themselves up, I feel like instead they try to tear you down. And basically you're needing to not allow that to happen and not allow them to do that to you, and to continue to shine anyway. Some of you could kind of shy away from the spotlight, or shy away from, being the best version of yourself, because maybe you get attacked when you do. Maybe there's jealous people around you, or you've been raised around jealous people, and you associate being the best version of yourself with you being attacked, or that attracting jealous people who try to hurt you. So you try to dull your own shine, and you're needing to learn how to overcome that, is what I'm hearing. I'm also hearing you deserve to take up space. So for some of you, you're needing to realize that as well. Some of you feel like inadequate, or you try not to take up too much space, or you try not to feel like a burden. You're not a burden, and you deserve to take up space, is what I'm hearing. Because I'm sensing like shrinking, like sitting in your chair, like shoulders kind of slouched over, eyes on the ground, like very shrunken posture, which comes from not really wanting to be seen, not wanting to be acknowledged, or feelings of worthlessness, and is basically saying to, straighten up your posture, sit up straight, sit up tall, and understand and know that you are not a burden, and that you are worthy, and that you deserve to take up space in every sense of the word. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I'm getting for you. If you feel drawn towards any other character, feel free to watch that as well, or watch those messages as well, because they may resonate with you. And if not, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Okay, group number 4. So you chose Chucky. So let's see what your inner child wants you to know. And again, I'm not using my tarot cards for this. I'm just channeling messages strictly from my intuition. So these are just intuitive downloads. So what I'm hearing from a lot of you is, or for a lot of you, is that you are needing to really conquer your fears. There are certain things that you are extremely fearful of, and instead of trying to overcome those fears, you try to avoid them. And basically, you are not going to be able to live your best life if you continue to just try to work around your fears instead of facing them head on. So there's a need for you to sit down and analyze your fears, study them as much as you can, and that will help you to kind of diminish that fear. It'll help you to be less fearful if you actually study and understand whatever fears you have, especially if they're irrational fears. The more you study them, the less fearful you will be of them, is what I'm seeing. Because fear is going to be something that is, like I said, going to drastically hold you back if you're constantly trying to take the long way around the fear instead of facing it. The example that I'm getting in my head is like, if you're afraid of dogs and you're walking down the street, and your neighbor, one of the people who live on your street, or your neighbor, they have like a dog that's in a fence, and so you never like walking past that fence because you're afraid of dogs, so you take the long way instead of just taking the shortcut right past the neighbor's house. Every day you take the long way, and it's an inconvenience to you. That's what I mean. Like, if you were to just face that fear head on, you would be able to just walk past that fence and not have to overexert yourself into trying to avoid it. See what I'm saying? So facing fears head on is something that a lot of you definitely need. I'm also sensing that I'm hearing something about your sight. It's almost like when you observe something or see something, your intuition is usually very much on point about it, but you second guess yourself. It's like you don't trust yourself to make the right judgment call with certain people or just certain decisions. It's almost like you don't trust your own judgment. And sometimes that really does put you in situations that could have been avoided. So like, if you meet a person and your intuition is like, no, there's something off about this person, and you go forward anyway, basically that's you not trusting yourself. And then usually what will end up happening is that you will find out that you were right about that person the whole time. That's what I mean about like, you have the gift of sight, or you have the gift of like seeing things before they actually happen, or having a feeling up for it. But it's like you don't trust that. So you're needing to trust that more. Trust your gut more, trust your intuition more, and understand that that's still a valid sorry, I had to pause the recording for a second. That's still a valid source of information. Just because it's not concrete, it's still valid. Like, your intuition tells you something that sometimes you have no proof of, except you have a feeling. And sometimes you dismiss that because you have no proof. You just have a feeling. But I'm sensing that you need to go with your intuition more. I'm not saying to go with your fears, because your fears can kind of block you from, experiencing things that you need to experience, or experiencing things that will be beneficial for you. I'm not talking about that. Your intuition is different from your fear, because your intuition is more like kind of quiet, and it's more like kind of soft spoken. It doesn't really invoke a lot of intense emotions in you the way fear does. That's why a lot of people can't hear their intuition unless they meditate, or when they're in the shower they'll hear their intuition, or when they're resting right before bed they'll hear their intuition. And that's because, like I said, your intuition is more soft and it's hard to hear it, but your fear is very loud. So you have to kind of know the difference between the two and move towards your intuition more often. Even doing these pick a card readings will help you with your intuition, because you literally just look at a pile of cards, or different piles of cards on the screen, and then you choose which one, you feel called towards. There's no proof that that specific pile is going to resonate with you, or the messages will be for you, but you just have a feeling. So that you're using your intuition, you're strengthening your intuition every time you every time you watch a pick a card reading. That's why I always recommend people watch them as often as possible, because it really does help strengthen that intuition muscle. I'm trying to see what else. Okay, so I'm also hearing for a lot of you, there is some issues with your sacral chakra at the moment. It seems to be blocked, and I'll quickly read about your sacral chakra and how it impacts you. So it says the sacral chakra is associated with the following psychological functions: emotions, feelings, relationships, pleasure, feeling the outer and inner worlds, creativity, and fantasies. And it can be blocked by fear. Exactly what I was talking about earlier. Some of you, it's like fear that's blocking you from being able to live your best life, from you to be able to experience the full range of the human experience, because you are letting fear kind of stop you and stand in your way. I'm also hearing that some of you are really wanting to make some sort of romantic connection, and healing your sacral chakra, or balancing your sacral chakra, could really be helpful to you when it comes to manifesting a romantic partner, is what I'm hearing. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Oh, a loss I'm hearing. So for some of you, you had a significant loss take place in your life that you are still not completely over. And I feel a very deep sense of grief. So it could be that someone that you love has passed away, or if they didn't pass away, then it's like they passed away, because you can't access them anymore, and you can't talk to them or see them for whatever reason. And basically what I'm hearing is that it's okay to honor that memory. I feel like for some of you, the memories that you have with that person, sometimes you try to suppress them because it's so painful, but it may help you to actually think about those memories and get in tune with those memories and remember the good times you had with that person, because that could help you with any kind of blocked or stuck energy associated with that person. And it's not easy, especially if it's someone who passed away that you love. Sometimes we want to kind of bury that grief and just kind of push forward, but sometimes stopping and remembering that person fondly could actually be very healing for you, even if it does make you cry, even if it does, make you extremely emotional. Sometimes that could be a good thing for you. And again, it doesn't have to be that someone really passed away. It could be that they're just gone from your life and you can no longer access them. So, remembering them and remembering the good memories, it actually might help to heal you, is what I'm seeing. And if this is a person who passed away, I'm hearing that that person is still with you in spirit. Like, they're always there. They're always around you, guiding you, sending you love. So they're not really gone, and they're still around you at all times. And I feel like sometimes you can feel them. You can kind of feel their presence or feel their energy. I'm not trying to be spooky and say like, oh, there's a ghost around you or anything like that. But for those of you who resonate with this message, I feel like you know exactly what I'm talking about. What else? Loyalty. I heard that in the first group as well. Loyalty. So I'm sensing that for a lot of you, you are an extremely loyal person, like very loyal, almost to a fault sometimes, like loyal to people that maybe you shouldn't be loyal to. You're needing to really look into that. Like, make sure that your loyalty to certain people doesn't act as a sense of disloyalty towards yourself, because sometimes when you're loyal to people to the point where they have the ability to mistreat you and you don't really like stand up for yourself, or you don't really like, cut them off or set a boundary, then sometimes you have to question, like, is your loyalty stronger with them or with yourself, because sometimes you have to be loyal to yourself when someone who you are loyal to is hurting you, you know. So just be very mindful of that. You should always be your own best friend, and you should always be loyal to you at the end of the day. Let's see what else. I feel like that might be it, group number 3. I feel like group 4, sorry. Some of you may want to watch group 3 because that just slipped out. I feel like this was really short. Let me see. Oh, okay. I'm also hearing the planet Saturn. Okay, so first of all, Saturn, karma. Watch your karma. Be very careful of the type of energy that you're putting out. Make sure that you are not putting out like negative energy into the world, because it'll come back to you. And just to clarify, when I say don't put out negative energy, I don't mean don't be sad ever, don't be angry ever. Like, that's completely unrealistic, and people who try to say that, like, oh, you're not in alignment, you know, you shouldn't feel those emotions or whatever, that's just spiritually bypassing. When I say negative, when I say putting out bad energy, I mean the way that we react or respond to people most of the time. So if someone is trying to do something to harm you, then of course you need to defend yourself. I'm not saying not to do that, but just be very careful about like being spiteful or doing things out of like spite or vengeance or with the wrong intentions, which we're all human, so we all do that. Like, we all get caught up in that sometimes, but just be very mindful of that. You don't want to get hit with bad karma by responding to a certain situation in a way that is excessive. Like I said, you can stick up for yourself, defend yourself and all that, but just remember the saying, like, how people treat you is their karma, how you respond is yours. So just be mindful of that. Again, not saying just sit back and let people treat you however. You have every right to defend yourself, but just keep your karma in mind. I'm also hearing hard work pays off. So whatever you put out, like I said, you will get back. So if you're working hard towards something that is like positive, like it's going to bring positive growth or change into your life, you will be rewarded for that greatly. So whatever you're spending your energy on, make sure it's something that, you know, is going to benefit you in the long run, because that's what you will be rewarded for. If you're spending your energy on negativity or focused on negativity too much, then that's what you are going to basically, you know, reap. You reap what you sow. So if you're trying to think of a good example, like, let's say for example, you are in a connection with someone and it's a very negative, toxic connection, and it seems to not be going anywhere. You and that person would have to agree to spend your time and energy fixing the connection instead of spending your time and energy destroying each other more or hurting each other more. It's like wherever you put that energy into is going to boomerang and come back to you. So if you and that other person make the conscious decision to do better, then that energy that you just created will boomerang and come back to you, and things will be better. If you don't make the conscious decision to do better, and instead you stay in that negativity and allow it to keep going on and allow it to keep festering, then you're just going to keep on getting the same results and keep getting that energy back. You see what I'm saying? So you will be rewarded with the energy that you put out and the energy that you participate in. So just be very mindful of that. All right, so I think that's it. Thank you for watching. If you feel called towards any other character, then go ahead and you can go ahead and watch that as well and see if any of those messages resonate with you. But if not, I will see you in my next reading. Bye. Okay, group number 5. So you chose Phil and Lil. And again, I'm not using my tarot cards for this. I am doing all of this strictly off of my intuition. All right, so what I'm sensing with Phil and Lil, or with you choosing them, is that you are intuitively drawn towards them because some of you are really, really wanting a companion or really wanting a friend of some sort. Doesn't have to be romantic, but you're really craving connection. And that is something that is important. Human connection is extremely important, despite what other people might say. Like, they make it seem like, you know, you shouldn't need anyone whatsoever. But as human beings, we are social. We are social creatures. You know, we love love. We love to give it. We love to receive it. It's normal and it's healthy to want that. So I'm hearing that your inner child wants you to know that there's nothing wrong with wanting that. It's only wrong, quote unquote, when you are willing to sacrifice yourself or settle for less just to have that. But if that's not the case, then it's nothing wrong with wanting that and seeking that, you know. And I feel like a lot of you are going to meet someone, whether it be a friend or whether it be like a romantic connection. You're going to meet someone that you're going to click with and you're going to resonate with them. very well. Like, you're going to be on the same frequency with them, and it's going to be something beautiful. So don't allow this idea that a lot of people are pushing, like, oh, you shouldn't need anyone and all you need is yourself. I understand their intention behind saying that, but don't allow that to cause you to become too detached to the point where a person comes into your life and you're not open enough to let them in, or you're not open enough to build a connection with them, because you've drilled it into your mind that you shouldn't even want a connection, because wanting a connection means you don't love yourself. Like, that's not the case, Like I said, it only becomes a quote unquote negative thing if you are lacking in self-love or self-compassion to the point where you're willing to settle and you're willing to connect with people who mistreat you, What else am I hearing? Oh, I'm hearing that... Wait, what? Doing these readings without my tarot cards, it's so strange, because I hear like just random messages in my head, and then I have to decode them. Oh, okay. What I'm hearing is that... Okay, first I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing, and then I'm going to try to decipher it. What I'm hearing is that taking care of your body is a privilege, or it's a privilege. It's a positive thing. For some of you, taking care of yourself annoys you a little bit, if that makes sense. It's like you feel like it's a burden, but you're needing to see it as a privilege and a gift to take care of your body, even though sometimes it can be annoying and you can feel inconvenienced by it at times. It's like needing to see that it's like a blessing and a privilege, and treating self-care like that, instead of seeing self-care as something that is forced on you that you don't really want to do. See what I'm saying? It's like needing to kind of shift your perception of what self-care is and see it as a more positive thing, instead of seeing it as something that is forced. I just heard the question, are you in love? I really feel like for some of you, you may be very strongly connected to someone romantically. Even if you don't know this person yet, you can feel energetically that they're coming. This is someone who, like, there's a very strong pull towards them. This is not like a toxic sort of pull, or like something where you're addicted to the person and you can't live without them. It's more like a fated and destined to be together sort of energy. And I feel like you sense that either with a person, or you sense that it's coming in for you energetically. And I think that you're right. I just keep hearing like equally yoked, like you're on the same page as this person. Again, this wouldn't be like a connection that there's a lot of chaos and confusion. No, it's not that type of connection. It's like you're on the same page. There are bumps in the road, there are hiccups, but you're so much on the same page. It's like this is the person that almost feels like they were meant for you. For some of you also, though, you're needing to use other people as a mirror, because some people that you are connecting with, they are directly reflecting something in yourself that you need to work on. Sometimes it's hard to see that because we get so caught up in what's happening in the connection that we forget to see the higher lesson. And I've talked about this in, a lot of my readings, like this example of if you run into a very selfish person and you connect with them, it could be that you yourself need to be a bit more selfish. You don't need to be as selfish as they are, because they could be like extreme in the way that they go about things. You're needing to take just a piece of how they are and incorporate it, because maybe you are a bit too selfless. And so that person acts as a mirror for you to show you a little bit of what you need to be doing or what you need to be healing within yourself. So yeah, it's like, don't forget to use connections as a mirror. And see things from a higher perspective of why certain people are in your life and what you're meant to change, what's meant to change within you by meeting this person is what I'm seeing. Let me see what else. I just keep on. I feel like a lot of you are there's just very heavy love energy in this. I'm trying to like get around that message and go to something else, but I just keep hearing like it's a very strong love connection that I'm feeling for a lot of you. And I feel like your inner child feels safe with this person. That's why they're coming through this reading from your inner child. And that's basically like a clear indicator that this person is someone who is healthy and good for you, because your inner child, feels safe around them. Now, sometimes if your inner child is wounded, your inner child won't feel safe around anyone. So your inner child will make you feel fearful at the thought of connecting. So this person could be someone who at first you are like that. Like you're kind of like weary. You're kind of like, I don't know about this. But this would be a person who gave you no reason to feel that way. It's just like your own past fears or your own past triggers and things like that. But slowly as you get to know them, your inner child feels more and more safe with them. But, take it slowly, of course. This is a general reading. I'm not trying to say the next person that you see or the next person that you're with or the person you're with now is this. Make sure that you have to, or make sure that you take things slowly. You have to take things slowly in order for you to feel safe and protected, especially if you do have inner child wounds that need to be healed. Taking things slow is going to be very beneficial for you, so you won't be too overwhelmed and you won't let someone in too easily either. So no harm in going slow, but there's a lot of harm in going fast if you choose to go too fast. Let's see. Oh, I'm hearing emptiness and loneliness. So for some of you, you do feel this sense of feeling isolated because you feel like no one really gets you or understands you. But I feel like that's going to change soon. For a lot of you, I feel like you will be meeting your soul tribe, or you needing to connect with your soul tribe, because there are people who resonate with you and there are people who understand you. You just may not know them yet. But that would be your soul tribe, like a group of people who have gone through similar soul lessons and experiences this lifetime as you, and you just click with them like that and you resonate with them so deeply, like you finally feel like you're not alone. I feel like you will be meeting those people soon, but you have to be open to that as well. You have to kind of open up your heart to that possibility, so that then you can manifest those people or call those people into your life. I'm hearing the law of attraction as well. So some of you are needing to brush up on the law of attraction, like read up on it, in order to manifest certain things into your life that you want. I feel like for the most part, you want to manifest your soul tribe. And I feel like you have the ability to do that, but it's going to take a certain level of your heart being open and prepared for them to come in. I feel like you won't have to go out of your way to search for them or look for them. They'll just kind of come into you, or they'll kind of come to you energetically. And you'll just start to meet them randomly. So look up like law of attraction and things of that sort, to help you fully understand how to kind of shift your energy in order to call, your soul tribe in, so that you feel less alone. Again, there's this misconception that like, just because you're lonely, that means you don't love yourself. That's not true. Just understand and know that, because for some of you, you feel like that at times. You feel lonely, and then you feel like this twinge of like guilt or shame. Like, am I supposed to feel like this? Shouldn't I be loving myself and I can enjoy my own company? Yeah, you can. But again, we're human beings. So there's nothing wrong with wanting that connection with another person or wanting it with other people, is what I'm hearing. I feel like that's it. I don't know. Why do I feel like this one was really short? 1 second. Oh, I'm hearing life is short. So there's a need for you to definitely cherish your time with the people that you love. If you are holding a grudge towards someone, don't hesitate to heal that with the person. I'm not saying you have to reconnect with toxic people or people who have hurt you. I'm not saying that, but if there's like people who you love, who you are really at odds with, or you are really on bad terms with, then there may be a need for you to settle that in some way. Even if you can't reach out to the person, it could be that you're needing to find peace in your heart about the situation. But for a lot of you, it's like you're needing to reach out, or you're needing to try to make amends. Can't really control what that other person does or how they respond, but I feel like it'll be for your own peace of mind, because like I said, life is very, very short. And again, I'm not talking about someone who completely mistreated you and they're just extremely abusive, toxic person. For some of you, maybe it is that. Maybe it is someone who's like that, but you still want to make amends. Even if you don't want to be back in their life, you still don't want to be on extremely like bad terms with them. Or maybe like the last words you said to them was something terrible, or the last words they said to you was something terrible. And you're just being reminded that life is very short. So you might feel much better and your heart might feel lighter if you kind of make amends, even if it doesn't mean you fully reconnect with that person. All right, so that is it. Group number 5. This is the last group, I think. Yeah. If you feel called towards any other character, feel free to go ahead and watch those messages as well. And if not, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.